It's a nice trip to town today, and getting to the barn a little bit late. It's kind of one of those days where it's almost like, I don't want to do this. Like I got my next squishy up high tonight. It's a little bit chilly compared to what it's been, but it's like we're gonna do this. So, just waiting for a sec for these things to go live on this little app, and we're gonna be talking tonight about a topic that we covered last night at our main uh, Facebook Live last night. We went live on YouTube and Facebook, and guess we're back at it tonight. But we had an actual sit down session where we tried to get more like a classroom setting and get things a little more organized for folks. And we're also promoting our early bird specials, which ended last night. But we talked about several topics, and one of them kind of stood out. I feel like it kind of resonated with a lot of the folks. And I don't know that it hit a nerve, but it made them think. A few people posted in my equine masterclass, my online membership program, and I think it kind of hit them a little bit. And what we were talking about is the difference between responding versus reacting with your horsemanship. And we talked about it on some different levels and brought in some kind of examples and scenarios. So I thought what we'd do tonight is just kind of expand on some of that. And since it was so popular, and it seems to me like it's kind of one of the bigger things that goes on with people with their horses. I think, when, what do they say? Uh, when knowledge ends, frustration begins. And I know for myself, when I was first starting out, I used to get really frustrated at certain things. And a lot of it was I just didn't know enough for the situations I was in. I didn't just have the same, 15-year-old Appaloosa pony the whole time. I was riding a bunch of outside horses and challenging horses and working Mustangs and different things. And some of it was a little bit above my pay grade at the time. And I would just get a little frustrated at times, and what it was, I just didn't know what to do at the moment. So I really what it did is it spiked my interest to keep studying because I was like, why do the horses respond like this, and why am I responding like that? It just got me more curious. But I guess my point is we've all kind of been through it, but a lot of it was just the lack of understanding. So what I see with clients a lot of times, same thing, is that kind of if they run out of the tools, then they get really frustrated, and you'll see them start blaming the horse quite a bit. And I'm not saying the horse is never the fault. Like I feel like some horses could, certainly try harder if you asked them, but if they don't know, they don't know. Uh, but what we're trying to do is set things up so that there's just a mutual understanding around, and people sometimes they'll just get like this isn't working, and then they'll just flip a switch. They'll be like, stop it and knock it off, and all these things. That's an emotion coming up, right? And then that becomes a reaction. And I'm not saying never ever react to anything. I mean, sometimes there might be an emergency and you just got to make things happen. It'd be better to respond in one. But if you never react, that you might need a situation where you need to. But I'm talking more about the emotional type of reactions. Put a one in the chat if you've ever been guilty. Like, you know what? I had an emotional reaction one time with my horse. Good evening, Alicia, on here. Wondering what time the live would happen tonight. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, I got caught in town. You saw that load of lumber. So yeah. So I'm gonna kind of review a little bit of what we did last night and the difference between reacting and responding. One way you could think about it or look at it is a reaction lacks rhythm and a response has rhythm. All right. And you might say, well, what does that matter? It's like, well, horses get very suspicious when there's not rhythm, when there's like a lack of rhythm. Okay. Because that's what predators do when they attack. Like, especially if they're stalking. They stalk up a little, they stalk up a little more, maybe it's slower, maybe it's faster, but we don't know. Then they stop, and then a little bit, and then back off, and wham. Okay, but it's not like dun 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 dun. They don't. There's not this rhythmic beat. It's an unpredictable beat, and so what happens is the horses get they get cautious. And I kind of mentioned this last night. Is like, has anybody ever seen real nice, quiet, gentle people with kind of shitty rank horses? Has anybody ever seen it? It surprised me. I call it the old lady syndrome. That's probably not politically correct. Okay, but what I mean when I say old lady syndrome is just the sweetest, kindest little people. Sometimes, not all of them, sometimes have like the rankest horses. And I was always wondered why this was, because at one point in my career, I traveled the country looking for the untrainable horses, and I thought I should go to the ranches. I thought I should go to the wild horses. I thought, I should go to the rodeos and things like that. But I tell you what, I've been trashed by more like domestic horses owned by quiet people than I've ever have by a Mustang, by an untrainable horse, by like a bucking horse at a rodeo. I mean, they've damn sure bucked me off, but like I've had more injuries from the domestic horses I ever did with the wild ones, and I don't even understand it. But one day I figured it out. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but one of them is, even though like being quiet and then being rhythmic are two separate things. Like sometimes people are like, oh, I'm just going to be quiet. Like I'm going to be kind. Every time the horse does something wrong, I'm going to stop. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slip him maybe a carrot. I'm going to help breathe with him. I'm going to do all these things. I'm not saying any of that stuff's wrong. I've seen some professional breathers and carrot givers doing an amazing job. But let's be honest, unless you're working like 30 head of horses a day for the last 38 years, you're not them. Okay. So, uh, we got to do something that's a little bit realistic for our own situations a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't learn that stuff. But what I'd hate for you to do is just misinterpret it and think, oh, well, if I'm just quiet, that will take care of everything. And that's not the case. There's other pieces that need to come with it, okay, such as being rhythmic, okay, being focused, having a goal, being flexible, having good feel, having good timing, balancing your exercises, balancing their body, balancing your mind and your emotions and your mindset and things like that. There's lots of pieces that go with it. But tonight we're just be mostly talking about the react versus respond. So, for instance, like let's say I'm riding this horse. Let me see if I can flip this screen around. I'm gonna ride this horse here. Front camera, back camera. We're going back camera. All right, so I want to ride this horse. Okay. And I'm just gonna ride here, and then I'm gonna ask him to stop. Well, I'm gonna pretend like I did. Okay, so he didn't stop. All right. And the person might say, well, whoa, and they're like, pull on him and jerk on him and tell him, I told you, whoa. Okay, that's more of like a reaction. Okay, these are just examples. Okay, you guys can deal with this as you want. I'm kind of stuck on this horse, so uh, I am my own film crew. I got this. All right. Or you could be like, I asked you to stop, okay, and you didn't stop. So maybe I'll just pick up and I'll remind you that when I pull on you and I ask you to do things, you need to go the other direction, like just back up here and get soft. So I'm going to respond here by saying, hey, how about you there get soft and back up? And then you could try it again. Maybe I'll just turn them around real quick. Okay. And then I want to walk forward. You might say, well, why are you turning them around? It's like, well, I just told him to stop and back up. I don't know why I'd necessarily just ask him straight away to go forward. Okay, I asked him to do something, and I don't want to just counter it. Doesn't mean I never would, but okay. So I'm going to ask him, and let's just say he didn't. So I'm going to take a hold. I'm just going to let him struggle through this. If he's not quite soft in the hand there, it's a little hard to tell from that angle, but you guys get the point. I want to wait. See, that's not good. There, and then release. Okay, so these are responses. Okay, responses, not reactions. Reaction would be like whoa, and whoa, and whoa, or something like that, right? Or I think the analogy that we were doing last night. Um, whoop, hold on, hit the wrong button. Don't anybody panic. I did not fall off. The example we were given last night was say a horse biting you or nipping at you a little bit, right? And I says, if he's not trying to be a predator and like trying to rip your arm off, he's just kind of nibbling. You don't necessarily have to reach out there and get him. Okay. Maybe you could just like pinch his nose and hold it a little bit, rub his nose. Like who here's I remember as a kid, just your parent man wiping your nose. And then after a while, you just like, you didn't like it. Like they're trying to help you, but you're like, I know, like it's too much. Right. So, you kind of do the same thing, just kind of rub on him until he's just like, I don't like it. Maybe this one, he would like it. See, that's a wild barn cat. He knows we feed him. Okay. Oh God. Look at this though. We have some visitors. Since you guys are on here, look who's visiting the barn. Oh my God. Here they come. Oh, are they in here? Oh, there we go. Look who's visiting. The minis. And they have company of the little wild barn cat. He is kind of loud, this one. So these guys, I bet, these guys probably have some nibbling issues, I bet. So we could maybe try that on them. Maybe we'll do a little training session with the minis. I don't know. So yeah, one of our crew here, Kara, she's got the minis. So that's Charlie's ponies. Her little set, but secretly mom is training them for her. So Kara's getting it taken care of. Who was it? There was is it a TikTok or reel or something like it's like a POV training the pony after hours so my daughter doesn't feel like I'm stepping on her toes or whatever, like what it looks like. So the mom's like her legs are kind of almost hanging to the ground and she's out just taking the pony around the yard, tuning it up while her daughter's sleeping to make it seem like her daughter's doing all the work. It's kind of cute. Never saw the kid, but I imagine the kid is probably just like 10 or something. So at any rate, the nipping thing, like a lot of people just hit back, like hit back, hit back, hit back, or something like that, and then it becomes some of them. Well, I'm not saying that's never gonna work, but sometimes like it becomes a contest, especially if the horse is really good at nipping people. It just be like you nip me, I nip you, you nip me, I nip you, and it just kind of goes back and forth. But it would be more like I'm not saying I put him in a headlock, but like let's say someone put you in a headlock and then like or held your hand or something, just kind of grabbed hold of you, and while you're squirming, they didn't let go. But as soon as you just relax, then they let you go. You're like, oh. So then next time they grab you, if you relax, let go. Um, that kind of concept. I don't know if that kind of makes sense there a little bit. So you're making it difficult on them, but you're not being mean to them. That's the thing. And I think a lot of times, when we talk about pressure and release and high pressure, low pressure, no pressure, lots of pressure, all these pressure topics, like it's a thing. Uh, I think people get a little bit confused. They think it's almost like pressure is a bad word nowadays, but till you've been in the middle of one that's really trying to ruin your day, maybe not on purpose, but your day is getting ruined in the middle of that horse. Like they're really distracted and not wanting to listen and not pay attention and stuff. And you have to deal with it for real, like you're on the side of a mountain somewhere or something and it's getting real in a hurry. Hopefully that horse understands a little bit of differences in pressure, because if he doesn't and a little pressure bothers him, he's just going to pop off the side of that mountain or buck you off and leave you there where you got to walk home or who knows what, just because they can't deal. So that's a little bit real for some folks. So I wouldn't say, y'all need to be out there and that sort of thing. I mean, look at me. I'm city slicker here. I'm all bundled up and riding in the lit indoor tonight. So what do I know about cliffs and stuff? But back in the day, we did a few of those. Um, so just something for you guys to think about. Reacting versus responding. Maybe tomorrow, if you work your horse, you go to the barn or something, maybe just check yourself. Just be like, hey, did I react? Did I respond? What am I doing here? Is this an opportunity that I could change? Maybe your horse nips at you, or maybe he's pawing at the barn door or something, and you're about ready to holler, quit it. And I know there'll be debates on the internet now that quit it actually works. So you send me a video of that 10 times in a row and then not having to repeat it the next day. Okay, that's the actual proof that it works. Okay. Um, and just let me know how that goes. Yeah, but just see if there's any spots where you could not react and you could try to respond. That'd be good. I'd like that. So it took me a lot of years to kind of figure that out. I hear it a lot of times at clinics. People are like, "You're so calm. You're so relaxed. You never really get carried away at all." And I was like, "I know. Well, it's not effective. That's for sure." They're like, "You're just always so chill." It's like, well, that because if you're not chill, like you lose your rhythm, and rhythm is what makes a lot of this stuff work. So essentially, by getting bothered, you're just like accepting defeat at that moment is kind of what happens. You're just accepting defeat. It's like, what do you mean accepting defeat? Well, you all of a sudden you're not going to be using the proper tools, so you're going to fail. So, so that's just kind of how that all goes, right? It's just going to kind of fail. So, all right. Well, let's see. Does anybody have any questions tonight? I wonder. Anybody, any questions on here? Check it out here. Any questions from anybody? What is going on here? I hope you're not abusing any animals, buddy. What? Oh, Lindsay. Who is this guy on here? Oh my God. Oh, on YouTube. That's why. Yeah, I see. They're under a code name. Got it. I always gotta love these folks that are like awkwardly signed up on a weird name. Well, the purpose is that you can ride then, and then you go shows and do all that stuff with them. Yeah. Oh, these guys are in a debate on here. This is hilarious. Uh, we're doing some YouTube stuff now. So I've noticed that some of the feed has started to change. Okay, I've been mostly in face. Sorry, I was like, what is going on in this feed here? Oh, that's my YouTube stuff going on. I was like, oh. So, welcome YouTubers. Well, YouTube's a whole different platform. We're definitely working on getting expand, but I just wanted to concentrate, on one thing at a time. So we hit the Facebook there for a lot of years, and then we got the Instagrams going. I tried TikTok for a while. I got that going kind of, but then we backed off it. Now we're trying to get the YouTube's back up and running. But with that comes some extra stuff here. It looks like. What does she say? That's me, old lady syndrome, Melissa. That's funny. You're not an old lady, Melissa. What was the dirt for? Oh, the gravel out of the truck, Brian. Uh, we're working on a project, so that's going to be the foundation. Hey, Sean, Cuz is on here. Um, got some numbers here. Cool. Not reading everything on here. This app's kind of, yeah, Charlie's Ponies. Yeah. Cool. I ride horses too. Nice. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Oh my God. All right. Well, it's been a good live. Just out here kind of chilling on old Red here. So, we'll probably go get back on here again. I don't know tomorrow. We'll see. I just kind of hop on here. Oh, if you guys are in the equine master class, that's the other thing. I was just talking to the office today, and we will announce this not just on here, but we're going to be doing our monthly Zoom uh, on Sunday. I think 6 p.m. So if you guys are here from the equine master class, um, we're going to be doing that on Sunday at 6. Okay. Joni says this. When I work with Cody, should I just be totally relaxed and chill, keep my energy low? Okay. So that's a good question, Joni. For your horse. Um, let's see. Oh my God, this guy on YouTube is hilarious. Okay. When I work with Cody, should I just be totally relaxed and chill, keep my energy low? Okay, so that's a good question. So don't try not to misinterpret um, reacting versus responding with just being chill. Okay. You can turn pressure up and turn pressure down while you do this. You don't just have to be chill. Like you could be like structured. So, like what I would say, I would just get more organized. So, if you're going to apply some pressure for something, like you had mentioned the lunging today, and hopefully you can get on Sunday and we'll go into a bunch of detail with this for you during the equine masterclass. But essentially, um, I'd focus on your phases and just be deliberate and intentional about them. So remember, the first phase is one. So that's really light, quiet, and easy, right? And then we build from there. But you have the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And you just build smoothly. And probably what he does is you get up to about a 2 or so, maybe a 3, and then he kind of flips attitude, right? He gets kind of awkward there. So, for me, knowing him, I would still be relaxed, yes, but I'd turn up the pressure there a little bit until he broke through and made a change. And then I'd back all the way off and reward him. But he has to make a change. And the problem with him um, is he's learned to change the other way, right? So what I mean is he has uh, learned to kind of resist you and get awkward uh, instead of being soft and solid and relaxed. Okay. So, what you want is when he can get from that resistance zone where he's just kind of flipping attitude, you're going to try to hang in there until he makes a change to the positive. But what's happened is he's made changes in the past, most likely to the negative, right? So, when you say to yourself, hey, I'm going to, work through this, you're going to find that you may run into a little bit more resistance. So I don't know what type of facility you have right now. I feel like he's at an indoor. If there's a round pen or on, it sounded like you're on a lunge line. You could start on a lunge line, but even better when they're kind of that way. I like to just turn them loose into a round pen. Then you don't have to hassle with the lead rope and different things. And I'm not saying you can't fix it on a lead rope. You can, but there's a lot of extra stuff going on there at first. Like my goal would be to get it all on a lead rope for sure. But I'm just saying if he turns into a lot of horse, I'd almost rather have him loose while I was trying to fix that stuff. Okay. And then wait for a change. So, like for me, ideally, I'd put him in a round pen. I'd work him for a little while, get through a lot of it. Then I'd put him on a lead rope, either in the round pen or out of the round pen and work on halter lead stuff is what I would try. And the other thing, I definitely make sure you got your arm extension there, either a little flag or your stick and string or something there in case things do get a little bit Western. You've got something there to kind of keep him at a distance and things like that if need be, because he can be a little pushy too. I think you said at times. So anyway, I hope that helps. Sunday at 6 p.m. we're going to be going hopefully into detail on stuff like that. I'm going to mark that as a question for sure, and we will try to cover some of that stuff. Um, what do we got here? All the feeds. Oh, okay. Oh, we're flipping screen. Hold on here. What do we got? Okay. We got so many buttons here. This is just silly. Okay. So many buttons. Okay. Well, yeah. I got to learn how to work this app. I can see. So, I I think that is. Let me get back to the chat here. Oh, there we go. That's the button we want. There we go. Okay, she says there is a round pen I can use. I will see you on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. So now you see the YouTube guy on there. Yeah, he won't be around much longer here. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to YouTube, everybody. This is hilarious. Yeah. So Alicia, so this is like a third party. It allows me to like stream in multiple locations because otherwise I'm like holding like 3 phones. So it does supposed to do YouTube and Facebook. It's supposed to do all of them, but it doesn't hook up to all of them. But anyway. So yeah, I would try that in a round pen. This is a good round pen I can use. I will be on Sunday. Okay, yeah. So that's just personally how I would do because what it does, it allows you to kind of burn through some of that energy and maybe anxiety and frustration and stuff. And you don't want to get them too hot and sweaty and stuff in the winter. If it's a super cold day, but like the last couple of days, that wasn't too bad. We even got a bunch of horses out and bathed them. Couple days ago, which in January is unheard of to bathe horses and tie them outside. That's unheard of, like unheard of. But it was warm enough. I was like, let's take advantage of this and go, bathe up their tails and different things for a while. Because I only have a couple horses in the barn, and it's not any warmer in the barn. It's just not out in the weather. It's still cold in the barn. So we took advantage of that. But cool. We'll see you on Sunday then. Joni, and I think we're good. So we're learning all sorts of buttons on here. All right. We'll catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in tonight.